Hello, guys. Today I'm blessed actually to have a very, very special and kind and radiating human being, Noel. She's a movement and dance therapist, and for me, that's something very deep and very connected because I believe so much that when we move our bodies, we can move our energy through this. So let's please listen to Noel's advice or advices in anything she wants to tell us and listen to this conversation because it's very fruitful. It's the only one that I didn't choose a topic for to trap Noel and make her tell us as much information or channel to us as much light as she can, possibly. Thank you. Please take the lead. Take the lead.
Merci, Sharif. I'm super happy
Blessed.
to be here. Um, my name's Nawal. I work in movement and yoga and dance and people generally.
That's wonderful.
Yeah,
Wow.
I met Sharif through, we were both checking a healing venue, a really nice venue. And we both happened to be there, and I had seen his work in Instagram, and I was like, okay, cool, that sounds interesting. So
I was lucky enough.
yeah, and now here we are today. So I'm very happy to have somebody to talk to that might want to hear anything I have to say. I guess a lot of my experience that I'm working from today comes from my past history as a performance artist and dance teacher, and then moving to Egypt with that skill set and not really being able to describe your career of what you do. So when you say dance or Egyptian dance or belly dance or folklore dance, there's a negative connotation that goes with that here,
Yeah.
or people are, it's not something that, especially if your family is Egyptian, that you really want to deal with, So I had to look at how could I take my love of dancing and the freedom I know it gives to women from teaching for so many years,
Amazing.
and how can I still continue to do that?
Yeah.
And I saw an ad via Instagram, and it was dance movement therapy, and there was some teachers coming from Italy to here.
Wow.
And so dance movement therapy, it takes movement and it makes it like a clinical application. So
Yes,
maybe the
yes.
doctor would take you and say you need to move, and this is a thing.
Yes, it's a thing. Totally, it's a thing. And please, like people don't maybe get so much the idea of how can I heal anything in me through dancing or through movement or through, all of it. So I know some of it, a little bit of it. So enlighten me and enlighten anyone who's watching us, please. How can movement or dancing affect our vibration, our emotion, our mental state? How do you think?
Well, I don't know all of it for sure. There's so much.
I
There's so much to learn.
I bet you know. I'm saying it out loud. I bet you know.
Yes, there's many things I did while training in dance and training in yoga. There was many things I dealt with subconsciously, especially when you're a dancer, you're doing expression through your body.
Yeah.
And if you act it out, like you get it, the feeling out, and it's through art, then you resolve the feeling. So
very true.
I think dancers and artists, they have this happening. It's like a subconscious thing.
Very true.
And so for even non-dancers, why not move your body? It's meant to be moving. Even you don't have to make it exercise, but you can just breathe and feel it. It's very important.
It's connecting to I believe,
Just without even energy, or it's like good for your spirit. Without that, just as the meat of our body.
And let me ask you, maybe it's about the subconscious mind. You were talking about the subconscious mind. I believe traumas are stored in the subconscious mind, and the subconscious mind is your body. So when you move your body, you release the blocks of the traumas.
I often have students or clients in coaching or yoga or dance or character work, and one exercise when they're becoming stressed, like feel where, like just lay on the floor, feel like where are you stressed, and try to move that, breathe, like take it out of your mind.
Exactly.
Take it out of the mind and try to deal with it on
exactly
like a physical
exactly.
level.
Can we say like it's stop your consciousness maybe and start expressing your subconscious mind somehow? Can we say that? Correct me, please.
Yeah, I guess it's to stop the active mind,
Active mind.
it's try to get you to be present with what's actually happening.
Yeah.
Be in your body,
Exactly.
because when you're thinking of my list of my problems and I'm thinking, I have to go do this in 5 minutes, it's too much.
It helps you so much to be present in the now and in the present moment, to like not be anywhere else but here.
So I learned that there's this thing, dance movement therapy, that they're taking people being able to make expression in their body as like maybe they'll do a group or something, or one-on-ones, people for their therapy.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is really cool. And then this is a different way that you can mix movement. And then maybe some people don't want to identify as a dancer.
Exactly.
But it will still benefit them.
Yeah.
So if you can tell them in a different way.
Yeah. Very
like,
true.
Now you're just moving your leg and stepping right. So
call it whatever you want.
Whatever you want.
Yeah.
Call it whatever you want.
Yeah.
So people need the accommodation, especially in the modern
Very true,
condition.
Very true. I believe so. You think if someone couldn't express themselves, their subconscious mind, their energy, whatever you call it, if they can't express it well, I believe it's gonna hurt them somehow, hurt them somewhere, be expressed in the wrong way, something like this. Like if they didn't connect to their bodies and express through their bodies, through dancing, through moving, you think it's gonna be expressed some way damaging.
It will maybe be expressed through rude comments on the internet, usually.
Yeah.
It will be
Very
like
true, very true.
And, people in their rage, their inner rage. So it just depends how much rage you want to live with, Maybe it's not for everyone, but like any type of sports is for, just move somehow. I don't care what you want to call it.
Yeah.
It's very good for you.
I love that you're like giving an advice of move anyhow the way you want, but just move, because moving is so
super important. And breathing is
it's elixir of life.
So like cliche.
Yeah. But I think doing it through dancing, through like following something that's been there for a long time, learning how to dance, like belly dance, whatever kind of dance, it makes it more interesting, makes it more running in the blood of the person somehow.
Yeah, it's the style of it.
Yeah,
so
thank you.
Yeah, it's the style. And there's so many stylizations that you can find something to suit you.
Sure.
Even with yoga, people are like, I can't do yoga. They think you have to be so flexible. You don't.
Yeah.
There's very many accommodations for...
Yes, please tell us about that, because I believe there are a lot of people that would love to try this, but they don't know if they're good enough for it, fit enough for it, flexible enough for it. You're like a pro, so maybe when they come and see Nawal, they will feel like, no, I'm too far away from this, I'm being honest with you, so they will get scared a little bit, but yes, please.
I usually say about yoga that it's like you take your car to make an oil change.
Exactly.
You take your car for maintenance.
Sure.
So yoga is like a bare minimum of maintenance. If you're just doing no movement, at least you can do this series that bends your body in all the ways at least.
Yeah.
And that's
it's like you're not upgrading your car, you're not pimping your ride, but you're just making the usual service for the car. Okay. Guys, do yoga, please. Start with yoga.
But again, you can take any exercise and make it your yoga, whatever you prefer. But yoga is a great addition in your life.
Yeah.
You don't have to engage in the spiritual practice. It is a spiritual practice.
It is,
so it should
very
be.
much. Yeah.
But you'll feel what you feel. Like it's not mine. As a teacher, it's not my position to tell anyone what they're going to feel.
Yeah, you just tell them where to look, but you don't tell them what to see.
In the workshop, or I'll say this is the content, but maybe they'll have a different reaction. So, you know, life is very open. I've worked with very many students, people in the government, other artists, and taught many different workshops.
Yeah.
Every person will always ask pretty much the same question, no matter what is the workshop content.
Right.
And they ask, like, am I okay to do this? Like, is it okay? You know, every single topic, everyone is like, am I okay? You know, the very, like, nervousness.
Yes.
And then you know, the nervousness or like anxiety.
I completely agree.
So people, that's the main question. If they are just, like, they want someone to say, give them the permission.
Yeah. They want someone to reassure them, to give them the green light. You know? Yes. So that's why I give them the green light now. Like anybody can just do it. They don't have to be flexible. They don't have to be fit. They don't have to be slim. They don't have to be muscular. They just need to be
just breathing
and alive.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
That's it. When I lived in Eastern Canada.
Yeah.
And the population there is Anglo-Saxon, and it's older population.
True.
And people have like rheumatoid or arthritis.
Very true.
So my first people in the first like 7 years of me teaching yoga were very old people.
Okay.
So I had to learn to make many accommodations for the
So
population.
you started with like the toughest.
I started with very
Yeah. But that would make you like everything else is going to be easy for you. But that's good. You're trying to. I'm sure if these people can move and can do it, then everybody can.
There's very many accommodation for anything.
Different ways to approach, like levels, like.
I don't like to use levels.
Because
it's like it's just
makes you feel like you're in the lower level or the upper level.
Just look at what you can do from the pictures and try and breathe. The most important thing is just to like feel your body. Like even before you're starting doing that, you could use like your warm up of your day.
Okay.
You can just lay on the floor and like check your neck.
You'll
notice that like one side is more, shorter.
Yes. Like connect with your body.
Yeah, check it out. Because sometimes all of a sudden people are like, oh, I have something,
Exactly.
And they could have probably checked it sooner,
It's of course they could.
So I get it. And it's not like I'm always like 100% taking my full care either, I get it.
Yeah, we're humans.
But that's the start. I don't ever want to tell people, unless they want me to make them a plan, I'm never going to tell you how to change your lifestyle.
It has to come from the inside of the person. You were living in in a lot of places, Canada, California, then Egypt. So it's a humongous difference.
Huge.
The community there are very well aware with what you're doing, with healing, holistic healing in all its angles. But here, how do you see the community here are responding to this? Are they happy with it? Are they resisting it? Do they know about it? They're not aware even.
What are Egyptians thinking from what I've seen?
Yeah.
Oh.
How's the community here in Egypt responding to this?
It's responding huge, I think.
Wow.
I think it's responding huge.
Yeah.
It's still new.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of enthusiasm, but maybe not as much experience.
Okay.
That's
a good
growing.
one. That's a good one.
But it's growing and cool. The thing is, like, California would be doing things like that 80 years ago.
Yeah. It's ancient.
It's so it's the new wave. Yeah, alhamdulillah, made it. That's cool, But it's also a little disappointing. That's what they want, because everybody else in the world is like wishes to come to Egypt or be Egyptian.
Full of culture.
What I don't see in the younger generation in their modernism is I don't see the integration of the old way of Egypt, which is like what everyone comes to Egypt,
Okay.
So they want to abandon this, and then they wanted to do what is the Nas Abiyad doing, And I don't see why, because I grew up in Canada, so. And people ask, they say, why would you live in Egypt? Everyone wants to go to Canada.
Yeah.
And every place has like a cost, different costs.
Definitely, yes. Very true.
Different costs, so I don't know. Egypt is more cozy than Canada. There's like people. After 9 there's nothing.
Yeah.
And it's not like I'm even going out anyway, but it just is like you're scared.
This feeling, yeah.
You're like, oh, I'm scared. There's no one.
And I'm in my imagination, yeah.
Yeah. It's like, oh, there's no, So yeah, Egypt is more cozy, but it's also like Cairo is very intense, of course, but
It's the intensity.
it's very intense.
Yeah.
But
it's attractive. Intense attractive.
Egypt has many subcultures, and they're very cool. So
Definitely, yes.
like as an example, I went to a show at the Pyramids. Like they're using it for a music venue sometimes.
Okay.
So I went with my younger sister. There was an artist, I didn't even know who it was. And then I went to get a snack, and they were serving me like a brownie or like a sub. I was like, oh, how dare you?
How dare you?
It was like, where's like some Aish Melody or where's something? I'm at the Pyramid.
Aish
like,
Melody,
what's going on?
I need an Egyptian food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm eating this dry brownie. I was like, this is a disgrace.
That's That took a long time to come from the US to here.
In front of the pyramids, and you're giving me this
brownies. Pyramids view.
It's like, what? Yeah.
No, you need فرن بلدي and عيش بلدي.
Yeah.
Some فول من عربية الفول.
Something like that, Tamea. They could even, bring tabali or something.
Yeah. They can
Elevated
tabali.
melody.
They can do a lot of stuff there.
Bring some elevated melody, but yeah, I was like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
And so I love to see the integration of like the old culture into the new culture.
We're
But
so
now
integrated.
there's this thing now called Egypt versus Masr.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Are you from Egypt or from Masr? Where do you consider yourself
yeah,
from?
too bad you're from both.
You're from Egypt and
Yeah,
Masr,
you're
and
from
that makes you so unique, by the way.
Yeah.
Nobody can hold the two sides together that easy. Yeah.
So that's one thing I do see, not just in the healing community, but in most young people in their 20s. They're just like and I understand being Egyptian citizen only is very intense.
Super
I
intense.
know that they're not necessarily the best taken care of as a citizen. So I get it, But they're really looking into healing.
True.
They're really looking into healing, and what's really popular right now is like sound bath.
Yeah. Sound bath. Yeah.
That's really popular right now.
Ice bath is becoming
ice bath.
something now in Egypt.
It's the trends.
Yeah, trends.
Yeah,
They
it's
see it like on Instagram. They see it on social media. They start trying it.
So that's what I'm seeing in Egypt right now is mostly trends, and then there will be like their underground of like the ma'allams, like it needs to develop,
Yeah,
so it's on its way. I've been in
like hagama and stuff like this. Yeah.
So I've seen many places in the world that have like underground, if that makes sense.
Of course, yeah,
like,
it makes complete sense.
like a deep community that knows everything or for everything, and for that. There is like folklore melody style, of course.
Right.
But then there is like this the new age people coming in.
Yeah.
So it's cool. It will develop over time. Yeah.
We will. I love that we're seeing the light here in it because it's important. It's necessary. It's essential. It's connecting people. But let's go a bit deeper because you're doing dance and movement therapy, and the culture here is.
Well, you know what?
Yeah, you got the question before I asked it. Thank you. That's cool.
People want to do it, but everything is like I always say.
Are they ready?
Depends. So I always say like everybody is in their own musalsal here.
Super right.
There's always everything undercover.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, so
everything is undercover.
Yeah, everything's undercover.
Yeah. So I was asking you, please tell me about the culture here. Are they ready for something called dance therapy? Here in the culture, when you hear the word dancer, they think of رقاصة.
Right.
على طول, it flashes like رقاصة. And when they think like رقاصة على واحدة ونص, But when you understand it the way you understand it, so So it's a completely different everything. Yeah, and it's so, with my knowledge, with my knowing, it's so good and so beneficial and so necessary for everyone, not only ladies, because moving your body is connecting to yourself and releasing the traumas of subconscious mind and connecting to the divine and a lot of stuff. You know better. So how are women dealing with you here? Are they seeing you as a bad, like, wrong thing, or are they seeing you as like a something attractive they want to do but they can't, or are they viewing you as what?
I have to say, I've been very welcomed by most people in Egypt. I mean, they might make comments that are annoying, but
okay.
but then it's it's
Yeah,
okay. I
yeah.
can handle it, But I've been very, very welcomed by people, in even I've never had bad comments about my tattoos, but I've had like, oh,
Wow.
inti Muslima,
Wow.
and I was
Wow.
like, oh,
You didn't have comments about your tattoo. You're lucky.
Of course, I was even I was in a Aswan, and it was Juma, and I went to go pray.
Okay.
And this old lady, she comes up and she touches my hand and she said, Ya bint, inti arfa il tattoo haram. I was like, oh, So you have to deal with that, whatever. But since like it happened in Europe or Canada, or whatever,
Yeah.
it happened. Yeah, people ask, "Is that real?" And they'll touch you. I'm like, "Can you not touch me?" In public. But
But it does it make you intimidating for some people?
I think for sure, or people realize I'm nice actually after, because I don't know, they just
Yeah,
think
of course
first
you
I'm
are.
not nice, but
Yeah.
I can be not nice also. So
Yeah.
it's just like it
No,
depends. If
I mean
everyone's-
from the angle of like women, let's say women from Egypt are a bit local women, yeah. When they see you, you're like doing dance therapy or movement therapy. You have the tattoos. You look cool, and you speak
they
English
like it.
fluently. So you're intimidating from this part. You're very attractive. Yet you're like a bit of a forbidden thing to be look-alike. So
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, I've never had it. I had them always say they like my tattoos,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
there's a lot of bad tattoos in Egypt,
Yeah, of course.
But there's lots of ladies that come to my classes, and it seems very well. I think, like I was saying about dance movement therapy, and how I moved my movement career towards that is because I think Egyptians will accept that, because now mental health is becoming awareness here.
True.
Reproduction health also.
Yeah.
That's like people are demanding this
True.
in Egypt.
True.
And mental health is the corporations are
Stretching big time.
Yeah, it's coming. I mean, we were saying earlier, of course, if you live in Cairo, you already have a strong tax on your nervous system.
Very
for
true.
sure.
Very
For sure. We
Yeah.
all are collective ADHD, because you must know every side what's happening.
Yeah.
You
have to be so cautious.
You must know everything. It's
Yeah.
when you're just like, it's
Yeah.
not, it's a high stress way
Very
to
much
live.
high stress.
So you have to say, number one, this is the bus. There's never boring, you know. So there's a cost, but if you just understand starting, I'm gonna have a basic stress. So what can no matter, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And
There's a basic stress.
Before you check the news, before anything, if you live in Cairo, basic stress.
Basic
if you live
stress.
in Egypt, you'll have a basic stress. Like it's like,
Yeah, you have your credit of stress pre-credited.
So
Yeah.
so you have to be a little more easy on yourself, and I think it is kind of that
And
way.
a lot of more loving to yourself.
It's more kind, like you have to be more kind, because there's already a
Yeah.
basic level of stress. So that's why it's important to take a time and stretch or relax. But so far, been very, very welcome. I go into many places in Egypt.
Your energy, I was just telling you, you make it amplified here all the time. It's
yeah.
true, your energy is amazing. But
Merci.
and the impact of it is strong. How many ladies did you liberate? Because I saw one myself that I met, and then I met after a couple of years, and I saw her like flying in the sky high. So how many I believe you did a lot liberate a lot. I believe so.
Yeah, or give
Because I
them,
believe
give
movement
them
is liberation. That's why I'm saying
Yeah.
liberate.
or give people ideas to do as they want later, but to let
Yeah.
them. It's really letting people know that they're okay.
Yeah.
It's fine.
That's
Or-
setting
or-
them free.
Or based on my look, they can think whatever profile they make,
Yeah.
and then they'll meet me and they're like, "Oh, she's a human." And
Yeah.
you know, this isn't like so taboo or
Yeah.
haram or
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But that's definitely.
She's not like
that's
any,
definitely-
and she's not devilish. She's just human with a heart, and
Yeah.
she can love me. Yeah, it's fine, but like, yeah.
That's a global thing in fetishization.
Yeah.
That's a global thing,
It's
but
true.
you know, oh, you look different. That's all. In Canada, I would get always growing up. Where are you from?
Yeah.
Where are you from? You know, and even here, Inti Minin, you know. So I just became okay with like not being. It's like it doesn't actually
Which is
matter.
a key for growth and
Yeah,
for being
yeah.
in peace, for sure. Yeah. So how does your like? I'm sure anybody who's watching this now is wondering, how does your class go? How does your thing go? Like, is it steps? Is it phases? Is it one class? Is it many classes?
Oh, okay. I do.
Can you explain to us,
Yeah,
like,
I do
please?
several. It depends on the person. I do
Yeah.
several things. If I open a group class, it would
Yeah.
be maybe a 4-week thing, whatever.
You're doing a
Dance,
retreat
yoga,
too,
whatever.
I believe, yeah, which
If
is
it's a,
going
if
to be
it's-
amazing.
If it's a retreat, then it's however many days, and then usually plus tourism, because I love Egypt and I want to.
It's a plus,
Yeah.
not just
and I
one
want
plus.
To go more in Egypt.
Yeah,
But I work a lot in one-on-ones with people is what I prefer, and that depends. Often people come to me based on they met me in a group class or I taught a workshop, and then they'll come for more, going deeper in the
Yeah.
topic. So that depends on the person. For me, when you look at the list, it looks like I teach a lot of things: yoga, dance, or like tanura or whirling.
yeah.
To me, it's all the same. It's all like
Whirling, wow.
It's all understanding your body
Wow.
and to make it do that style.
Yeah.
So it depends what.
So if someone now is watching us and they just want to start doing your sessions, your classes, what's the first step
oh,
they
they
should
should
take?
just check my stuff. What I do, you
Yeah.
know, or if they're there's a lot.
And there's no like they don't have to be with a certain fit, with a certain age, with a certain anything. They just have to just want it.
Yeah, they just can't. They can just want it, and they just can't be like terrified because maybe I'm a little bit scary, but I don't.
Yeah, you're intimidating. As I
But,
told you, not scary. It's different.
Yeah.
It's attractive, but you know, I want to know more before I go there. You know,
or-
so that's why I'm asking
I
you
do
to
a
tell
lot
them
of, like,
more.
character work, or girls that are dancers already will come.
Yeah,
A lot of character work, or like personal branding, if you how you want to look on interviews
Cool.
or what you want to do.
That's very cool.
So anything in your development of your character, I do like a couple programs and workshops in that. So I
Yeah.
have like a lot of content. I've been working with many people for many years, and I've been doing. When people say like, "What is your work?" I'm like, you know, because also part of my work is just being in the world.
I understand.
You know, if that
I'm with you in this boat.
yeah, if that makes sense, and I'm like, you know, I do a lot now. It's developed more into one-on-one. Sometimes I'll do workshops from online because I have many contacts in California and Eastern Canada where I grew up and where I had my original studios. So I do online workshops for that community. But I
great.
love to do in-person stuff, so I've done several different collaborations and workshops in Egypt, and I'm still doing that right now, you
That's
know?
amazing. That's amazing.
And
That's
then
amazing.
last year I became registered yoga school.
Perfect.
So that means like people who want their 200-hour training, I can do the training. So
Yeah.
I'll have one of those in Egypt in early December, I think.
That's cool. So soon, like if someone wants to be a yoga instructor or a yoga teacher, they can just train with you. Yoga instructor.
Yeah. And it's
Yeah.
like, well, anyway, there's lots of programs. There's lots of programs that I do. I do a lot of like active stuff, but I've
Yeah.
spent a lot of time being nerdy and you know building curriculums and teaching classes and doing just different experiments.
It's great you're doing all this work by yourself. Like you're putting your signature in it. It's something amazing. I believe.
Yeah, you're never in this type of work. You're never working by yourself. Like, alhamdulillah, I have so good people in different countries that would host me,
Perfect.
and nice studios, and maintain a good relationship. You know, I try to treat people really well. Anyone I work with, I'm usually become friends, or we're good.
Yeah.
I don't want like a cold interaction. There's much work you could do if
It's not worth it.
no, I don't care. So there's lots of.
And I think whoever is gonna heal with you will understand that if you like this kind of working environment, then when you would give a lot of warmth to and a lot of good energy to anyone who's gonna be around you, either at work or like as a client or whatever. Like because it's a give and take thing. You know.
I find definitely my clients would have the best of my energy, just like probably any professional.
Yeah.
You know, your work gets the best of your energy, and then it's people always think if you're a yoga instructor or do meditation, you're like, oh, love and light, and I'm very like.
It's never
that's not my personality.
Spirituality is not love and light at all.
You know, I'm a little like I'm also from like
Rambo.
East Coast of Canada. Like it's a difficult place to come from. It's very like rough.
Rough, it is.
You know,
rough.
it's rough. It's like hard. They have a thing. They say hard times in the Maritimes.
Okay.
And it's about like the hard, the poverty, the hard. You know, so it's that comes through in my personality. I think a little bit, but. It's impossible to just be nice all the time.
For sure, it's impossible.
And then if someone's asking more of you than they deserve, like just bothering you for your attention.
Boundaries are necessary.
It's hard not to be like you have no patience.
Yeah.
You have no patience.
Yeah, you just blow up.
It might happen. You know, I've never like yelled at people. Well, maybe a couple times, but I haven't yelled at people in the street in Canada.
Okay.
I've yelled at tons of people in the street in Egypt.
Okay.
Really?
Okay.
You know, so it's just like, again, like it has more demands of you here. You
Yeah,
have
of
to
course.
be very interactive in your
But
environment.
it gives you more experience, it helps you in your growth, for sure. It gives you a lot of like wisdom.
You learn, learn from the people for sure.
Because you learn how to run your emotions consciously as much as you can.
Best with that point being said about the nervous system in
Please
Cairo, I find I have to go like maybe every 4 days for me. I need to take a day like by myself, and it's very difficult because there's always things to do.
Yeah.
So many things to do.
Yeah.
You know?
But here, for sure, you need a day or maybe a couple of days every week.
Yeah.
Just to detox from
just go quiet. Yeah. It's really
this loud, noisy Cairo, but it has that beat of life too. I don't know why I like it.
It gives you something too, not just tiredness. You know, but you have to take that and integrate yourself.
You went to temples. We were talking that day. You went to Dendara like many times.
Many times. I started going to Luxor, because of it's like the Upper Egypt for dance, like the dance Aslan.
I
like
saw your reel with the tahtib, the professional tahtib. It's
so
like, I'm Saidi, I didn't do tahtib.
I know, that's something else.
Yeah.
No, I love Saidi style. I love Upper Egypt style. I think I said earlier, that's, for me, my observation is that's like the soul of Egyptian people.
Sure.
You know, and it's just very powerful vibe. I don't believe in going and praying to Hathor in the temple. I think you can go in the temple and feel a crazy vibe.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
It might be because it's huge stones, whatever. I don't know. But all of the temples have a crazy vibe, their own different vibes.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it's about. I don't know.
I think it's just the energy of the people that were building them because they had this intention somehow.
But even outside the temples and the land itself and the people itself, it's some strong earth energy, and it's like this very, I'm like, wow, it's like,
I agree.
It's very powerful,
I agree.
you really can feel it. And Aswan is its own thing,
Yeah.
So you can't even compare that, but like when you get down to Enna, And then before Luxor, it's like that's like the super. You have to like on the Nile, you know, that's the super Egyptian vibe.
Yeah.
So I go there for that. I didn't know that I would know that. So I went to go train at Asaya and see some temples, of course,
Yeah.
and drink a lot of coffee. And I was like, oh, this vibe. I love it. Yeah, it's like, I love it, you know. So I go at least twice a year since I've been here.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really awesome, you know.
Yeah.
But again, like, I know some Masrain, they haven't even gone to pyramids before, you know, or so
Yeah, a lot of them, yeah.
or they're not going to, but I understand it's not possible, Kaman, for everyone to just travel, so, you know, alhamdulillah, I'm blessed.
Very blessed.
But yeah, there's something about that vibe. Like, I would choose to hang out in Egypt over, مثلا, go to Dubai any day.
Oh, thank you for that. Thank you for that. I always say that nobody agrees with me. Thank you for agreeing with me on that. Yeah.
Dubai is boring. I'm
It's
sorry.
plastic.
Yeah, there's no underground. There's like, it's not anything. Yeah, I wouldn't.
We can say a lot now about
You can say a lot, but I would hang out somewhere in Egypt over.
It's authentic. It's real.
Find any lifestyle here that you would
full of everything. If you're interested in anything, you'll find your people. You'll find them real, and you'll find them doing it from the heart.
But I think it's really important that like some of the different the folklores of Egypt, like people are not so interested in, like the younger generation are not so interested.
Yeah.
And this is very bad. Like once some of these old guys die, like I showed you this video earlier, like when they die, who's gonna be the next Ustaz? Like it's not many.
Yeah.
They're busy with work.
No,
you know,
it's a different generation and it's different
interests. Not funding for artists here, you know.
No funding for artists.
There's
no funding for electricity cutting now. So come on.
Exactly. So it's very difficult for these traditions to continue. There's like there's a band from Port Said, and they do like bambutia, and they do all traditional songs. And one of their guys, like their head guys, he recently died in February. Allah yarhamu.
Okay.
And there's not like really anyone to take over where, you know, what he had going on.
Okay.
So like once this generation passes, a lot of these really soulful folklore will be uncertain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's a thing that I hope more young Egyptians would take interest in.
I really do too. Egyptians, please take interest in it. All what Nawal said. She's inspiring me personally since we met, and anybody who's gonna be able to receive some light from her is gonna be like healing for real. Thank you guys.